Kurinji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurinji Education Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
In continuation to the last class, in this class we are going to discuss initially seeing the single slit diffraction pattern. Afterwards, we will continue with the topic resolving power of optical instruments. Right. First, we are going to see how can we observe the single slit diffraction pattern in our daily life with a small experiment. Right? Okay. So, for this experiment, that is to see the single slit diffraction pattern ourselves, we need 2 razor blades and 1 clear glass electrical bulb, preferably with a single filament. Right? Okay. And whoever doing the experiment, they have to hold the 2 blades as shown in the figure. Right? So, the edges are parallel and have a narrow slit pattern. Okay, right. And this can be done only with the help of our thumb and 4 fingers. Right. Now, first you have to take the bulb, right, and keep the slit parallel to the filament of the bulb right in front of the eye. Right in front of the eye. If you are using spectacles also, no problem. That is, it's okay. It's not objectable. Now, just you slide the adjustment of the width of the slit and the parallelism of the edges. Parallelism of the edges, right? It should be parallel. Parallelism of the edges. Now you can see the pattern, that is what bright and dark bands with our eye. Right? Since the position of all the bands depends upon the wavelength, right? So they will show, you can see some colors. Using a filter, that is what for red color or blue color, will make the fringes clearer. Right? If you use the filter to filter the light which comes from the bulb, you can see the fringes very clear. With both the filters available, even you can see the fringes for red, wider. So, wider fringes for red when compared to the blue can be seen. Right? Afterwards, in this experiment, right, so we observed there is a bulb, filament, we are keeping the parallel edges of the parallel edges which forms the single slit parallel to the filament. Then you can see the bright and dark bands. If you use filters, you can see very clear fringes. Right? Here the filament plays a key role of the first slit S as shown in the figure what we discussed in our previous class. Right? That is what the fringe pattern just in our last class. Right? Okay. The lens of the eye focuses the patterns on the screen. That is what the pattern of the screen which is formed on the retina of our eye. Right? Okay. And here itself, with some effort, you can cut a double slit for an aluminum foil with a blade that you can use as a double slit to observe the diffraction, to observe the Young's double slit experiment. To observe the Young's double slit experiment. Okay, right. So there itself, if you are going to take the bulb filament, if you are going to view the bulb filament, that is what through two holes, that is what we discussed in Young's double slit experiment. Okay. So in a daytime, because of there is the situation which is sunlight, suitable availability of sunlight or suitable bright source, subtending a small angle at the eye, subtending a small angle at the eye, right? This is because of reflection of the sun in any shiny convex surface, in any shiny convex surface. Shiny convex surface means, for example, cycle bell. Cycle bell, you know that cycle bell? The top surface of the cycle bell forms a convex surface. When this is going to expose to the sunlight, you can say that shiny convex surface, right? So just we took one aluminum sheet and we made two holes which acts like a double slit. So here we can observe Young's double slit experiment. Young's double slit experiment. So the bulb filament can be viewed as before what we did in a case of Young's experiment, but in daytime there is another suitable bright source subtending a small angle at the eye, right? This is because of the reflection of the sun on any shiny convex surface, right? But while doing this experiment, we should not focus our eye to the sun because it gives some damage to the eye nerves. That is the important precaution we have to take while doing this small experiment, right? And one more important thing is the eye will not give, the eye and sunlight will not give fringes anyway, as the sun subtends at an angle of 1/2 degrees. But anyhow, it is advised not to see the sun directly with our eye. Okay, right. Now the conclusion for this small experiment, that is what seeing the single slit diffraction will be like this. That is, in interference and diffraction, light energy is redistributed. Remember one thing, he is talking about the possibilities of interference and diffraction regarding the energy. In interference and diffraction, light energy is redistributed. Okay. If it reduces in one region, in interference and diffraction, light energy is redistributed. If it reduces in one region, producing a dark fringe, it increases in another region, producing a bright fringe. If it reduces in one region, so the amount of light energy reduces in one region means it will give us a dark fringe. If it increases in another region means it will give us a bright fringe. But we have to keep in mind there is no gain or loss of energy which is consistent with the principle of conservation of energy. So whatever the amount of energy we are getting from source of light, okay, so it will be redistributed. That is the only thing takes place either in case of interference or diffraction. So this is very important point, So from starting of this class, we discussed a small example, that is what with the help of two razor blades we observed single slit diffraction pattern. Okay. Afterwards, we also discussed what happens in case of double slit also a little bit, right, by taking sunlight as a source. And there I also advised not to see the sunlight directly with our naked eye. Here he is saying the possibilities, that is what interference and diffraction with respect to the amount of energy. Okay, right. Now we are going to continue with the next most important topic, that is resolving power of optical instruments. So what are the optical instruments? We discussed in our previous chapter, ray optics. Those are microscope and telescope. But here we are going to discuss resolving power. Already we discussed in our last chapter the magnifying power in case of microscope, right? Similarly, in case of telescope also we discussed the consequences. But here we are going to discuss resolving power, right? For example, if you see the two persons from a long distance, or if you see the two objects from a long distance, you may think that those two are not two objects, is only one object. But if you travel nearer to the objects, you will identify that, you will find out that that is not one object, there are two objects, right? So here our eye is going to resolve the two objects separately. So the ability to resolve, the ability to distinguish two objects separately is simply called as resolving power. Resolving power, okay, right? So in case of that is what telescopes, we also discussed angular resolution. Angular resolution with the help of objective lens of the telescopes. Objective lens of the telescopes, and telescopes we are also using to see that stars which are present in our surroundings, that is in space. So the stars which are not resolved in the image produced by the objective cannot be resolved by any further magnification produced by the eyepiece. This is the important point regarding the resolving power in case of telescope. Next, the primary purpose of the eyepiece which is available in telescope is to provide magnification of the image produced by the objective. Magnification of the image produced by the objective, right? Now, if you are going to see a parallel beam of light falling on a convex lens, parallel beam of light falling on a convex lens, then what will happen? After completion of that, these parallel beam of light will focus at a point, that is what generally focus. And one more important thing is the lens has to be corrected for aberrations, right? Then geometrical optics tells us that the beam will get focused to a point, that is what focus. Whatever it may be, however the situation, but because of diffraction, we can say that the beam, instead of getting focused to a point, gets focused to a spot of finite area, right? So in this case, the effects due to the diffraction can be taken into account by considering a plane wave incident, that is what plane incident wave on a circular aperture followed by a convex lens. So here he is explaining the difference between the diffraction and the image formed by a convex lens. So this analysis of the corresponding diffraction pattern is involved. So what is the principle? What is the principle involved, right? That is, it is similar to the analysis carried out by a single slit diffraction pattern. Single slit diffraction pattern, right? If we consider the effects due to the diffraction, the pattern on the focal plane, would consist a central bright region surrounded by concentric dark and bright fringes, concentric dark and bright rings that you can see on the screen, otherwise you can observe with our eye. A detailed analysis of this situation, whatever the image is going to form, that is like a spherically shaped object of smaller radius, because of diffraction, you can see here, right? So with the help of this picture, you can see. Now we are going for mathematical calculation, that is what to derive the formula for resolving power of optical instruments, right? For example, you see here the radius of the central bright fringe or bright region. So generally there we are calling it as fringe, but here it is like a spherical shape, no, right? So that is what region is approximately given by R naught is equal to, so approximated formula 1.22 lambda into f by 2a. So mathematically it is 0.61 into lambda f by a. Here you can see we have a convex lens, this is what 2a, and it is the focal length. Here you can see the pattern, and this is the image, right? So it is 0.61 lambda f by a, which is that radius of the central bright region, where f is the focal length of the lens, and 2a is the diameter of the circular aperture, otherwise diameter of the lens, whichever is smaller, right? Suppose if lambda is equal to 0.5 micrometer and small f is approximately equal to 20 centimeter and small a is approximately equal to 5 centimeters, means then if you do the mathematical calculation, we may have R naught is approximately equal to 1.2 micrometer. right? Now, suppose although the size of the spot is very small, it plays an important role in determining the limit of resolution for an optical instrument like a telescope or microscope, right? So here the radius may be small, but it is important to identify or to calculate the resolving power of either microscope or telescope. Suppose, for example, you are taking two stars. So generally astronomical telescope we are using to see the stars now. So in case of two stars, just to resolve the two stars, I already told you, if you see the two objects from long distance, you may think that there are no two objects, it is only one object. When you are going close to the objects, you may think that there are two objects which are separate from one another. So here from surface of earth, if you want to see the two stars, so two stars, if you want to see the two stars differently, means there must be a resolving power for the optical instruments what you are using, right? So for the two stars to be just resolved, f into delta theta is approximately equal to r naught, that is already we know 0.61 lambda f by a. So if you take these two, f will get cancelled, delta theta is approximately equal to 0.61 lambda by a, right? So based on this relation, you can also conclude delta theta will be small if the diameter of the objective lens is large, right? So this indicates that, this implies that the telescope will have better resolving power if A is large, right? So these things need not to remember, just if you keep that formula in our mind, mathematically if one is in denominator, right? So if denominator increases means what happens to the next one, right? So based on that he is judging, right? So this is the reason for the better resolution, a telescope must have a large diameter objective that we discussed when we were in a discussion regarding the optical instruments in our last chapter, that is ray optics, right? Now in case of microscope, if you are going to talk about the resolving power, what could happen, what will happen, that we are going to see. In case of microscope, right, that is what objective lens of a microscope, right? The object is placed slightly beyond f so that a real image is formed at a distance v. So these are all, you know, if you go for different cases of convex lens, right? The magnification is given by that, you know that formula, that is what v by f. Magnification is approximately equal to v by f in one particular situation, right? So that you can also say that d by f is approximately equal to 2 tan beta, d by x is approximately equal to 2 tan beta. It is like equation 2, for our convenience it is like equation 2, right? Here if you observe carefully, 2 beta, whatever the 2 tan beta, right? If you take the d by f is approximately equal to 2 tan beta, and you see this picture also, then you can identify what is beta, right? So here 2 beta is the angle subtended by the diameter of the objective lens at the focus of the microscope. 2 beta is the angle subtended by the diameter of the objective lens at the focus of the microscope. Now you see this picture and try to understand what is going to happen because of convex lens regarding this image and regarding the object. This is the object plane, and it is the focal length, right? It is the d aperture, and it is the angle, and it is the image distance, and here you can see image, and this is the image plane. It is the image plane, right? So here when the separation between the 2 points in a microscopic specimen is comparable to the wavelength of light, then the diffraction becomes important. Right? And you can say that the image of point object will again be a diffraction pattern whose size in the image plane will be. As we discussed just 10 minutes before, in case of diffraction, you can see the image with some area, not like a point image, right? So that is the situation here. you can write it as V into theta is equal to V into 1.22 lambda by D, right? So it is like equation 3. Here you have to keep in mind two objects whose images are closer than this distance, will not be resolved. So there should be minimum distance to resolve with the help of optical instruments, otherwise we cannot resolve, right? So two objects whose images are closer than this distance will not be resolved, they will be seen as one. So when we are seeing as one means we are not resolving, so that the corresponding minimum separation D minimum in the object plane is given by like this. It is what D minimum is equal to V into 1.22 lambda by D divided by M, right? So mathematically 1.22 lambda by capital D into V by M. So that V by M you can write it as 1.22 F into lambda by D. So in place of V by M we are writing F, that is you already know M is equal to V by F. M is approximately equal to V by F. Now if you combine these two equations, that is what equation 2 and equation 3. Now if you combine two equations, you will get the new thing, that is what D minimum is equal to 1.22 lambda by 2 tan beta. So for smaller values of beta, you can modify this equation in this manner, that is 1.22 lambda by 2 sin beta. Okay. So here D minimum is equal to 1.22 lambda by 2n sin beta. This is the expression by considering refractive index also, right? If the medium between the object and the objective lens, is not air but a medium of refractive index n, then this is the equation. That is what I told you, including the refractive index, this is the expression for minimum distance between the two objects to resolve, that is 1.22 into lambda by 2n sin beta. And here this word, this is what n sin beta is also called as numerical aperture, right? Sometimes it is there on the objective, right? So the product n into sin beta is called as numerical aperture, okay, right? So we derived an expression for D minimum, that is the minimum distance between the two objects to resolve based on this relation, that is what D minimum is equal to 1.22 lambda by 2n sin beta, right? So based on this discussion, you can also say that the resolving power of the microscope is given by the reciprocal of the minimum separation of 2 points seen as distinct, and from this equation the resolving power can be increased by choosing a medium of high refractive index, So generally oil having high refractive index and that is close to that of objective glass is used, right? Such an arrangement is called an oil immersion objective. If you are going to talk about the refractive index, so when because of the oil is close to the glass in case of refractive index, that is called as oil immersion objective, right? And one more thing you have to notice here, that is it is not possible to make sin beta larger than unity. So that's why the resolving power of a microscope is basically determined by the wavelength of light used, okay, that is. And because of this discussion, that is what resolving power, and I also told you about the magnification, we may have some sort of clarity regarding the resolving power and magnification, right? It is as simple as such. Telescope resolves whereas microscope magnifies. Telescopes resolves whereas microscope magnifies. This is the functioning difference between the telescope and microscope. Okay, because if you go for in detail, there is a similarity between the role of telescope and microscope when to deal with these parameters, that is what resolution and magnification. But a telescope produces images of far objects nearer to our eye. Therefore, the objects which are not resolved at far distance can be resolved by looking at them through a telescope. But in case of microscope, magnifies the objects and produces their large image. So if you see at the two stars or two satellites far away planet, right, with the help of telescope, so we can see different regions of a living cell, so whatever it may be. So in case of that what is that biology lab, we are using microscope. In case of that is what either astronomical telescope or terrestrial telescope, we are going to observe, right, we are going to see the two distant objects. Okay, right. So that's why if you see here, if you see this topic, right, so in this class we focus to discuss in this class we discussed a small experiment to observe the diffraction pattern with our naked eye, that is seeing the single slit diffraction pattern. Afterwards we focus to discuss and to derive an expression for minimum distance to observe the two objects distinctly. That is the name of the topic is resolving power of optical instruments. Regarding the telescope also we discussed and microscope also, but mostly microscope means we are the magnification purpose and telescope means for resolving the two objects, right. So there itself the expression for minimum distance to resolve two objects is d minimum is equal to 1.22 lambda by 2n sin beta. Okay ma, thank you. We will continue in the next class.